in May, Forbes said this guy was worth 150 million bucks. But now 50 Cent doesn't have two quarters to rub together.
I remember reading headlines about 50 Cent's financial troubles and thinking there was something incredibly tragic about the man that released Get Rich or Die Trying going bankrupt. However, on last check, 50 Cent was actually still alive, which did make me think that maybe there was slightly more to the bankruptcy story than meets the eye. In order to truly understand what happened, we need to go way back to 2008 at the start of his feud with everybody's favourite wing-slinging, fake drug-dealing rapper, Rick Ross.
He's my brother and I love him like myself. He's my brother and I love him like no.
It was actually Rick Ross that started off the beef by saying that 50 Cent looked at him some kind of way at the BET Awards.
At the BET Awards, and I bumped into him, he made an expression on his face that kind of disappointed me.
Like, what kind of expression?
50 responded saying he didn't even see Rick Ross at the awards, which I think is hard to believe considering that Rick Ross weighs 350 pounds. Now, Ricky Ross made the beef official when he released the song Mafia Music, which fired a few shots at 50 Cent for allegedly burning down his baby mama's house. January 29th, 2009, and 50 Cent comes out with a response to Mafia Music, his own disc called Officer Ricky. The next day, Rick Ross calls into Angela Yee's show and says that that response is trash and 50 has 48 hours to respond with something better.
24 hours later.
Rick Ross, I'ma fuck your life up for fun. I paid for the transcripts to your court case. And now that I got your address, we'll be on your doorstep, Ricky.
On that same day, 50 also releases the first episode of his Officer Ricky cartoon series.
Damn, Rick. Why you got me up here, man? Is it because I said you and your mama look like the Clumps?
A couple of days later, 50 is sticking true to his promise of fucking up Rick Ross's life for fun.
Hello, hi, I'm Tia, the mother of Rick Ross's son.
50 starts out the video by saying that what you're about to see is
something that is a little bit more sophisticated than what we've been offering in the past.
Which I think is a massive disservice to 50 Cent's other work. I mean, this video is so lowbrow, it makes Candy Shop look like the Beethoven Symphony. In the video, the mother of Rick Ross's child calls out Ross for having rented jewelry and leased cars.
His jewelry is rented, possibly not real. His cars are being leased.
And he takes her fur shopping whilst Isn't She Lovely by Stevie Wonder plays. You cannot make this shit up. 50 also takes the opportunity to call out Rick Ross's other baby mama for being a cool girl. A few days after that, Rick Ross releases the diss song Kiss My Pinky Ring, Curly.
I'm so hard, I'm so sharp, taking bitches shopping, scared to get a blowjob.
This song is accompanied by a music video of Rick Ross hanging out in New York with some miscellaneous goons. This song also featured what felt like several hundred lyrics accusing 50 Cent of being gay. An allegation which seemingly becomes a big part of this beef from both sides.
Faggot. Cal is a faggot too.
2 days after that, it's the 8th of February, and 50 Cent is dropping more content than Netflix. He puts out Officer Ricky Episode 2, which shows how Rick Ross got a deal from Jay-Z. He then drops the first of a series of new comedy segments featuring a character that he's created called Pimpin' Curly.
He said the motherfucker down south calling me Curly.
This is basically just 50 Cent wearing a curly wig while shrieking about how much of a pimp he is and threatening Rick Ross on camera with a knife.
Oh, motherfucker Ricky, nigga, when I get you, I'm gonna cut you.
Then, along with his crew G-Unit, 50 Cent releases I'll Be the Shooter, which features so many shout-outs of different types of guns, the song might as well have been recorded in T.I.'s trunk. In response to this, Rick Ross essentially copies 50's idea of the animated diss video and releases his own version called Gay Unit Workouts, which I'm sure even the slowest of viewers can work out what that means. This entire video is basically just calling out G-Unit members for being gay. It also disses 50 Cent for allegedly using steroids, and also for some reason Rick Ross decided that this video was the perfect place to debut his new single with John Legend, Magnificent, over visuals of a cartoon G-Unit having a three-way gangbang. That same day, Rick Ross drops the diss track Push 'Em Over the Ledge, which is basically a 2-minute juice freestyle, mainly consisting of, you guessed it, he mentions one specific rumor of G-Unit member Lloyd Banks being in a gay porno.
You sucked your assistant dick on tape, Google it.
Which I did a lot of digging on. I couldn't seem to find any evidence for that. But there was a guy that looks a little bit like Lloyd Banks appeared in a gay porno. The next day, 50 Cent puts out a video that's probably the most menacing thing I've ever seen in a hip-hop beef. I mean, this thing makes the story of Adidon look like the story of Balamory. He releases the video, A Psychic Told Me.
This little poem I wrote for DJ Khaled. Check this shit out, right? It's called I Just Want to Tell You What a Psychic Told Me. Your car tires got to...
Fuck out of here with this shit, man.
Welcome to Austria, Agent 47. Your targets are Dorian Lang, Guillaume Maison, and Doris Lee, 3 remaining members of the international gang of thieves known as the Yardbirds. The Yardbirds were famous for the daring heists, in particular, one that took place against Shamal Casino in Las Vegas. However, the money proved to be the property of organized criminals who in turn launched a campaign of violence and retaliation in an effort to identify the thieves and find the money. Feeling the earth burn beneath them, the Yardbirds entered into a secret agreement. The treasure would remain hidden, and once the dust settled, the last remaining member was to inherit everything. The group retired, and all members vanished from sight until Calvin Ritter, the Sparrow, was found dead on his yacht. But the remaining members remained elusive. The group never gathers in one place, but today is a special occasion. The wedding of Elizabeth Lang is taking place at the palatial home of Guillaume Maison with Doris Lee as a special guest. Our client is Alexander Kovac, the founder of the Yardbirds. He has stipulated that all 3 targets and their bodyguards must be eliminated at this event. Should any of the Yardbirds escape, the contract is invalidated. Looks like Kovac is making his final bid for lost employees. Good luck. That is Guillaume Maison, the Kingfisher, former Interpol agent and the owner of the mansion and its grounds. That is Guillaume Maison, the Kingfisher, former Interpol agent and the owner of the mansion and its grounds. That is Guillaume Maison, the Kingfisher, former internal agent and the owner of the mansion and its grounds. That is Guillaume Maison, the Kingfisher, former internal agent and the owner of the mansion and its grounds. That is Guillaume Maison, the Kingfisher, former internal agent and the owner of the mansion and its grounds. That's Maison taken care of. Nice work, 47. 47, the situation is about to get out of hand. That's Maison taken care of. 47, the targets are leaving the area. You must act now. The situation is about to get out of hand. That's Maison taken care of. 47, the targets are leaving the area. You must act now. The situation is about to get out of hand. That's Maison taken care of. 47, the targets are leaving the area. You must act now. The situation is about to get out of hand. Dorian Lang has escaped from the premises. Mission is aborted. 47. Dorian Lang has escaped from the premises. Mission is aborted. Good afternoon, 47. The wedding ceremony is about to begin with Lang and his daughter arriving shortly by car. It is expected that they will proceed directly to the open area where the groom and priest is waiting, along with all the wedding guests. Guillaume Maison has been on site all day, preparing the wedding details and entertaining guests. I expect he will also attend the ceremony. Doris Lee is en route via helicopter and should be arriving any minute now. My intel suggests she will not be watching the bride and groom exchange vows, but do keep a lookout anyway. We are working within a limited window of opportunity, 47. We expect the targets to stay for no longer than 15 minutes. Good luck, 47. We expect the targets to stay for no longer than 15 minutes. We are working on 47. Guillaume Maison, the Kingfisher, former Interpol agent and the owner of the mansion and its grounds. That is Guillaume Maison. 47, you're about to be spotted. Confirmed kill on Maison, 47. Good work, 47. The money will be wired to your account in a moment. The money will be wired to your account in a moment.
That's what the fuck it was. You. 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 Fuck wrong with that shit. 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 You. Yo, shit crazy. Yo. Yo, shit crazy. Yo. Yo, shit crazy. Yo. Yo. Shit crazy. Yo. Yo. Holla. Yo. Holla. Yo. Holla. Yo.
crazy. You. Yeah. That's dude saying what's wrong with your mic. You. Yeah. That's dude saying what's wrong with your mic. You. Yeah. Yeah. Saying what's wrong with your mic. Yeah. You. Yeah. Yeah. Saying what's wrong with your mic. Yeah. You. Yeah. Yeah. Saying what's wrong with your mic. Yeah. You. Yeah. Yeah. Saying what's wrong with your mic. Yeah. You. Yeah. Yeah. Saying what's wrong with your mic. Yeah. Yeah.